Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm breaking down the Zane build that killed Wotan. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands 3 Zane builds. Don't forget to join the Zane Nation Discord, link will be in a pinned comment down below. By the way, I'm including the save file for this build in my Discord for PC players. The moment we killed Wotan, I uploaded the save file, so it is there for you guys to use. The Maliwan Takedown finally dropped, and it was the greatest challenge this game has to offer yet. Nothing in this game even comes close to the difficulty of the Maliwan Takedown, but I managed to finally clear it solo after probably dozens of attempts. There's definitely a few tricks, a few pieces of gear that were missing from the original build, but I'm going to let you guys know everything you're going to need to beat it. Now, the most important change from the original build to this one is the protuberance we are using. The anointment for extra projectiles is bugged, so basically the longer you have the anointment active during one game session, the more projectiles will spawn and keep stacking. Now, I originally replaced this with an anointment that gives you 50% bonus shock damage for the next 2 magazines, but this anointment is also bugged, and it deals damage to you through your transformer. So, with all that being said, just get a shock protuberance with an anointment on it for more damage. I ended up using a terror anointment for damage plus fire rate because it's basically always active in this build. This could easily be replaced by 100% weapon damage on action skill end, or 125% splash damage on action skill end, stuff like that. Just keep in mind not to use any anointments that give bonus shock damage, or you will literally kill yourself. Now, the next big weapon change is we are now using the Brainstormer. I've personally slept on this gun for a long time. I actually watched the YouTuber Moxie. If you guys never seen him, he does Amara videos. He loves this gun and uses it all the time, but I never tried it until my friend Spire from the Discord sent me one. Now, this gun is literally actually insane at mob clearing. It does tons of damage. It got me up for multiple second wins during the Wotan fight itself. One thing to remember about this gun is the more enemies are around is basically the more damage this gun will do. When you use it on a single target, it doesn't do nearly as much damage. The shock chains that link a bunch of enemies together is what does the most damage. Now, a budget option you can use instead, and I actually used for part of the raid, is the Kill of the Wisp. The Wisp is actually stronger than this when there's more enemies around because it attaches to every single enemy no matter how many there are. So it actually can be stronger in many cases, and it's also really good with Zane's kill skill Salvation. But I do have to say it's definitely weaker the less enemies around, because I don't think it puts out as much direct damage as the Brainstormer does. In any case, whichever one you find, you definitely want 50% cryo with terror on these guns in this build. The cryo bonuses on these two guns are like insane. They both freeze enemies, and it just does extra damage to armor. So the next gun I started using was the Kibsworth. This is the new SMG that Wotan himself drops. It's not required for this build. You can easily replace it with the Crossroads. Now, the reason why I think both of these SMGs are better to use than the Cutsman is pretty much just the bullet speed. I actually started this raid with the Cutsman, but when doing this solo, I feel like everything is so hectic. You can't really control your positioning all the time to use the Cutsman to its fullest potential. So if you can get your hands on a Kibsworth, it's nice because it has 2 elements. You definitely want your SMGs to be corrosive though, because all of the bosses have armor. And finally, the last gun in my inventory is the Sellout. This is simply for the elemental projector. I'm pretty sure you've all seen this before. So for the shield, I'm using the Transformer. Not only are we comboing this with the Protuberance for infinite survivability, but I think this is just the best shield in the game in general. Every badass Stormchucker basically suddenly becomes your best friend, and there's no shortage of them in this raid. So basically what you want is either a Transformer with ammo regen on terror, or one that gives you terror on action skill end. Now for the grenade, Keep in mind, I'm not actually using any of the grenade skills in this build, so it doesn't matter what grenade you're using. You just want one with the anointment to basically match your transformer, either ammo regen or terror on action skill end. So between the grenade and the transformer, one of them needs terror on action skill end, and one of them needs to give you ammo regeneration with terror. So for the class mod, I was using the new one, Antifreeze. I highly suggest farming or trading in my Discord or another Discord for this class mod. The speed boost it gives when you are slowed down from cryo is insanely great. You really want to keep constantly moving or you'll probably die. So that line of text on this class mod specifically is like really good. But if you don't have an antifreeze, your best cold warrior for max damage with synchronicity should definitely do the trick. Onto the artifact. I actually used 2 artifacts for this raid. The first one was an elemental projector. I used the elemental projector for most of the raid and the first half of the Wotan fight. This helps you clear all the bosses and through Wotan's first half of his armor like really well. I found that during the second half of the Wotan fight, if I had a sellout in my hands, that means I wasn't either healing with my protuberance or I wasn't sustaining with salvation by shooting guns. So when I got to his double shield phase, I swapped out for the last stand artifact. It just adds more survivability. It's kind of the same reason why I don't like using the Cutsman so much in this raid. I might go back to using the Cutsman, but basically what it comes down to is, especially when doing this solo, it's so hectic, it's so crazy, there's so much going on. You can't always like control your surroundings and your positioning and all that. So that's why I switched into the last stand. On to the skill trees. This is basically a Seeing Red plus damage skill tree set. Since we're using Seeing Red, I chose to use the barrier and the clone. They both have the shortest durations and the shortest cooldowns, which means more activations with Seeing Red. I also can't say how clutch both of these are. In the Kraken fight in the beginning, for example, I would only rush him with my barrier on, because otherwise you die to rockets and heavy enemy fire. But I also got to rush him when I had my clone active. What I would do was position my clone somewhere safe, rush to him to deal some burst damage, and as soon as he starts firing rockets, you swap with the clone to the safe spot. On top of that, I would definitely say the clone and the barrier are the best options for survivability by far. The clone is extremely good with Seeing Red as well, because you can often put him in front of a group of enemies to just die, and then he'll immediately go on cooldown to basically keep proccing your kill skills. So with all that being said, in the drone tree, we got 5 out of 5 violent momentum and violent speed. The speed in this build is definitely necessary. Like I mentioned earlier, everything is so hectic and so crazy, you gotta keep moving or you're gonna die. We got 5 out of 5 salvation. Obviously, you're gonna need sustain, especially soloing raids. But what's great about salvation is every time you shoot yourself with your protuberance, it counts as damage dealt. So not only do you heal your shields, but you also heal your health. Death follows close is a given. Not really gonna go over that. Now, the last important skill in my skill set is Playing Dirty. This doubles the damage on your protuberance, which is your most used gun for this whole fight. Even with only 5 points in Playing Dirty, you don't have to worry. I always had this up, like pretty much. Just between getting kills in general and activating action skills to activate your kill skills. I know 62% might not seem like a lot, but it's every other kill or every other kill skill activation. And oftentimes with your protuberance, you can kill weaker enemies in 2 to 3 shots. So I find that you don't even need an executor comm to keep this active all the time. So besides all that, I split the last 4 points between Cool Hand and Violent Violence for extra reload speed and extra fire rate. On to the barrier tree. I wanted to get to the all-rounder. Plus, since we usually have max shields between our transformer and protuberance, a lot of the skills here work really well anyway. Basically, adrenaline and confident competence are your best ones. And besides that, we spent some other points to boost our max shield and give us some damage reduction just to help with survivability. And then for the last 10 points, into the clone tree, we got 5 out of 5 synchronicity and 5 out of 5 Donnybrook. Both of these skills add 80% damage combined when they're all activated. That's basically what we want in this build. Not much to say about that, just max damage. So that's the build. Basically, what I have to say about the gameplay and playstyle, you need to be constantly moving, running, jumping, shooting, get straight in enemies' faces with the protuberance, get a kill, and immediately run the opposite direction. You want to alternate between your action skills. That way you'll have 100% terror uptime and 100% kill skill uptime. When they fix Guardian rank and we get topped off back, this build will just be 10 times better. We'll easily have terror and kill skills like clockwork, but I can't stress enough how much you should not hang around in one area for too long. You want to constantly be moving, constantly be shooting, activating action skills, etc. Get in, get a kill, get the F out, and you'll be able to do this too. I found the Wotan fight to be the hardest part about this raid. Obviously, it's so hectic. There's so many ads and rockets from Wotan himself. You just need to constantly move like I've been saying if you want to beat him. Basically, you need to learn his patterns. Just shoot the protuberance through his barrier when it's open. When it comes to his double shield phase, get inside the first barrier and shoot the protuberance into the opening of the second barrier. Once his first shield goes down, then you need to go up the air vents and shoot the protuberance over the top. After that, just keep moving. Only shoot him while you have kill skills up. If you don't have kill skills up, you need your protuberance in your hand to keep your shields full. Make sure you alternate between action skills or else. Another thing is, make sure you alternate your action skills correctly. Never activate both at the same time or else you're not going to make it. There was actually a point in the fight where I put my clone out way too early. I recognized that basically the situation, and I realized I needed to get a kill right there on one of the smaller ads for my kill skill downtime. You need to have your kill skills up. Basically, if you guys don't know about health gate, as long as you're above 50% health, you pretty much can't die. So what that means is, as long as your kill skills are up, you can shoot a protuberance at your feet and heal your health with salvation. The Brainstormer is insanely good. When enemies are near Wotan, you can basically shoot anyone in the area with it, and you'll also shoot him. I also use the Brainstormer to get out of Fight for Your Life more than once. A lot of times Fight for Your Life is so hectic, and there's so much gunfire and enemies. So what's great about the Brainstormer is you can just spam it at the nearest one, and it'll hurt every enemy in the area, meaning it'll probably kill the weakest one, which it did for me twice in this fight. Literally, if not for the Brainstormer, I would have died 2 separate times. So I really can't highly suggest the Brainstormer enough. But anyways, guys, that's the breakdown for the build. All the tips I could think to give at this current moment. Please ask any questions in the comment section. I always do my best to respond to every comment or question I ever get. I just want to serve you guys the best I can. Besides that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 Zane builds. I'll probably be working on some support builds for the Maliwan Takedown next, so if you live in the EU or Middle East, we'll probably have a chance to play together. Join the Discord for more info. Don't forget, I'll be adding the save file in a section in the Discord as well. But anyways, guys, that's it from me. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.